today's Pet Pawcast. I'm your host, Dr. Roberta Westbrook, and you're here with us at the Campus for All Animals, the Houston SPCA. Well, springtime has sprung. It's here. And springtime is one of the funnest times of the year. We love to get outside. The weather's warming up. But I want to talk to you today about springtime safety for your pets. So hopefully I can help answer some questions for you today. In the meantime, I would love to introduce you to our pet of the week. Our pet of the week is named Regal. Regal is about a 3-year-old neutered male German Shepherd mix. And he came to us through our ambulance service. He had an injury to one of his paws, but he is completely healed and he's ready to find his new home. So please consider coming on down to our adoption center and meeting Regal and all the other pets that we have available for adoption. We're open every day from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and we would love to help you find the new member of your family. Okay, let's talk about springtime safety for your pets.
What are the biggest seasonal risks for pets as we transition into spring?
As we move into spring, there are lots of things that we consider regarding safety for our pets. Some of the top things might be, this is the time that you're going to be spring cleaning around the home. And so being considerate about the types of cleaning materials and supplies that you use and making sure you keep your pets safe is important. Then we also love to do gardening during the spring. So paying attention to which plants are toxic to pets is also something that you can study before you start developing your garden. As the weather gets warmer, we start to worry about heat-related injury and illness to our pets. So we can talk about heat stroke and pet safety as it relates to temperature. And the springtime always brings out those external parasites like fleas and ticks and mosquitoes, which all three can cause disease and harm to our pets. So those are some of the big things that we need to consider as we move into spring.
How do changes in daylight and temperature affect pets' behavior?
Well, let's talk about how the daylight changes. So as the daylight changes, just like we can feel that and we can sense that there's a difference in the time of day, our pets can sense that too. So one of the things that we can do to help get our pets ready for the time change is starting to change their routine and moving it up by 15 minutes or so a day. That way you can wake up a little bit earlier, get the day started a little bit earlier, and gradually move into the new routine. So that can help with the time and of day. Then the temperature is important as well, because as the temperatures get warmer, again, we're going to be concerned that, especially in the south where it gets very hot, that we're going to be concerned about heat stroke. So making sure that we're still taking our pets outside and doing outdoor activities during the coolest hours of the day and not the hottest hours of the day are going to be one of the things that I would encourage you to pay attention to.
As it gets hotter, people are going to start using windows to vent. Are there any ways to prevent pets from escaping from these windows?
Yeah, so I love fresh air. So especially when you're cleaning, sometimes you love to leave doors open or windows open because letting that fresh air in, there's something really calming about that. But we want to be safe in a way that our cats especially do not jump out of windows, particularly if you are in an elevated living space on a second or third floor apartment, for example. Leaving windows open, especially if they don't have a screen, can be dangerous for cats. So you want to make sure that you have a well-fitted, tight screen over your windows if you're going to leave the windows up. The same thing with dogs. Dogs can escape through doors or through the windows. So you want to make sure you have a screen door on them or that your backyard or front yard gates are closed. That way, if your pets get outside of the home, they're still in an enclosed area. And always make sure that you have your pet's microchip information up to date. Having the microchip information up to date can be a way that we can get your pet back to you as soon as possible if they do get out of the home, out of the enclosure, and get lost during one of these spring cleaning events.
With spring cleaning coming up, what would be the best way to manage heavy shedding from your pets?
Right, so spring is coming. Again, weather is getting warmer, so we can start talking about changes in grooming for our pets. Well, one of the things that can happen as the weather gets warmer is you can notice that your pet may start to shed their undercoat. And so some clients will notice that their pet begins to shed more. One of the things that you can do to help the coat shed that undercoat is just regular brushing. So getting a really good brush that you can use once or twice weekly to get your pet's undercoat and get the loose hairs out. You can do this outdoors as well, so you don't have all the hair in your home. That's a good way to help keep your pet's coat nice and healthy. And then if you have a family groomer that you use, you can also talk to the groomer about the appropriate haircut for your pet and other grooming tips. If you have a long-haired pet, your groomer may or may not recommend cutting your pet's hair closely, because some pets need that undercoat to stay cool. That undercoat can actually help pets stay cool when it's hot and help keep them warm when it's cold. So your groomer can actually help you to determine what type of haircut your pet needs, if they need one at all.
Should pet parents bathe their pets more often in the spring?
So bathing your pet can really determine on the individual pet. One of the things that happens during the spring is that the pollen can go up in the air. And so sometimes pets, especially pets that have environmental allergies, you may notice that their symptoms of allergies go up. And that's because those environmental allergens can get trapped near the skin by getting into the hair coat. So in some cases, bathing your pet more frequently can help to rid the coat of those allergens like the pollen, and it can help to keep your pet more comfortable. I would contact your family veterinarian to see how often you should bathe your pet, because bathing pets too frequently can also dry out the skin and dry out the coat and sometimes make itchiness worse. So it just may depend on the needs of your pet.
Would bathing your pet also prevent hot spots or skin infections?
Yeah, so let's talk about this. So when we're talking about grooming, one of the common illnesses that we see related to skin in pets when it gets hot in spring and summer is the development of what we call hot spots. Hot spots are otherwise known as areas of moist dermatitis or superficial pyoderma. These are all terms that just mean skin infection, a moist skin infection where the skin is moist. It is usually creating some discharge, some redness, some inflammation, and it causes the area to be really inflamed and sensitive. So pets will lick, they'll scratch, and if we try to touch it, they're usually very sensitive around a hot spot. Bathing your pet can be something that can help to prevent hot spots by just keeping the pet coat clean. But if the coat is not dry, then bathing your pet can actually contribute to a hot spot, because hot spots love dark, warm, moist environments. So if you've bathed your pet and the coat is not dry, now you have a pet that is wet, and the moisture traps beneath the coat, and that can be a really good environment for bacteria and fungus to grow, yeast to grow. So you always want to make sure that if you're bathing your pet, that you make sure that you get their coat really dry all the way through to prevent the moisture from trapping bacteria close to their skin.
Moving into exercise and activity, how can pet owners tell if their pet is getting overheated during playtime?
So again, as the temperatures rise and we start to be concerned about the heat, you want to make sure that you're doing activities that are in the coolest hours of the day and not the hottest hours of the day. Last year, as early as late April and early May, we were seeing temperatures in the 90s. So it can get hot pretty quickly. So you want to make sure that you're spending time in the coolest hours of the day and that you're paying attention to your pet. So if you're noticing that you've been exercising outside and it's a hot day, things that you should be aware of is your pet still active, or are they starting to become lethargic where they really don't want to have much activity? They're searching for shade, they're searching for water. These could be signs that they're getting overheated. You always want to make sure that you have water available, cool water available for your pet if you're going to be spending time outdoors, and you want to have a plan for being able to get to the shade. When there's no shade available, It can get really hot really quickly, and you want to be able to get your pet out of the heat as fast as possible if you're noticing that they're drooling excessively, they're panting heavily, or they're becoming lethargic.
Are there any dog breeds that should avoid prolonged time in the sun?
Absolutely. So prolonged time in the sun can actually be a problem for several different types of pets. The first that many of us know about are those pets that are brachycephalic. Brachycephalic dogs and cats are those that have really short noses and short muzzles. And that's because if they have a short nose and a short muzzle, they're unable to cool air on inspiration the way a dog or cat would that had a longer nose and muzzle. So as they're inhaling the hot air, it doesn't cool off before it gets to the lungs. And so these animals can certainly experience heat stroke in higher numbers faster than other animals. You also want to make sure that if you have a pet that is light colored, that's white or light tan with pink skin, these animals can actually experience sunburn because they don't have the pigment that may protect them from the sun. And then if you have a pet that doesn't have hair at all, like a Sphinx cat or a Chinese crested, their skin is exposed to the sun. So prolonged time in the sun can also lead to burns from the sun, and so you want to make sure that you can protect them from that.
What are some common Easter hazards for pets?
So as Easter gets nearer, we love to have lots of outdoor activities that includes not only hard-boiled eggs that we can decorate, but even plastic eggs that we can put treats inside of, including chocolates and other sweets. And then there's oftentimes lots of home decorations related to Easter. The Easter lily, for example, or that small green grass that we put in the Easter baskets, the plastic grass. Well, all of these things can potentially be dangerous for our pets. So if we're talking about sweets and treats, oftentimes we might fill those plastic eggs with chocolate. And if our pets get into chocolate, this could potentially be toxic. Chocolate can be toxic to both dogs and cats. It does depend on the type of chocolate. Usually the darker chocolate is more toxic. It also depends on the amount. And so if your pet gets into chocolate, you're going to want to call your family veterinarian right away so that they can determine whether it's milk chocolate or dark chocolate. Then they're going to ask you approximately how much did your pet eat. So any information that you can give about the amount is going to be helpful. And then we use that amount along with your pet's weight so that we can calculate what is the likelihood that your pet is going to experience toxic symptoms, which generally include cardiac abnormalities, panting, drooling, and in worst case scenarios, it could cause a fatality. Now, some of the other Easter related decorations like Easter lilies can also be toxic to animals like cats. Easter lilies can cause kidney failure, and so you want to make sure that if you have these plants in your home that they are unable to, that your pets like cats are unable to get to the lilies. And then the green grass, the plastic green grass that we use to put in our Easter baskets can really be attractive to cats. Cats love to chew on things like grass and tinsel like string, and these can become foreign bodies for cats. It can even become a foreign body for your dog if they ingest it. So I would say try to make sure that you keep that fake plastic grass out of the reach of your pets so that they don't accidentally get a foreign body related to it.
With springtime picnics and barbecues coming up, is it okay for any dogs or cats to eat any of this human food?
So yes, springtime is, again, the time that we're spending outdoors. We're doing lots more outdoor cookouts and barbecues, and our pets are gonna love that too because they're gonna smell the meat on the grill and they're gonna have people over, and so you may be tempted to treat your pet with some of these foods, but please steer clear of giving your pets some of the high fatty, high seasoned meats that you may be grilling that your pet's gastrointestinal tract may not be used to. This can cause things like gastroenteritis, vomiting, diarrhea, and in the worst case scenario, pancreatitis, where the pancreas becomes inflamed because of really fatty foods, and this can in some cases lead to hospitalization. So stick to feeding your pets really healthy treats that are specific for dogs or cats, Or vegetables that are unseasoned. You can use broccoli, carrots, asparagus, and other healthy treats like that.
Moving into spring weather and seasonal changes, how do spring storms and heavy rain affect pets?
Well, some pets do have thunderstorm anxiety. And so as the spring showers come, you may have more opportunity to notice that your pet has these experiences where they're anxious because of the thunder and the lightning and the rain. So if this occurs, you may want to visit your family veterinarian to get medication prescribed that can actually help keep your pet calm during thunderstorms. Your veterinarian can help you suggest which medication is going to be most appropriate, or give you tips for keeping your pet calm, such as keeping your pet in a crate so that they feel more comfortable. Some pets may feel more comfortable if they're able to hide away and they have a nice treat or toy with them, something that's comforting for them. Some pets may do better if the TV is on or the radio is on. Sometimes that helps to drown out the thunder and the lightning and the sound of the rain. And then some pets may do better with something like a thunder shirt. A thunder shirt is a shirt that you can put on your dog that actually kind of gives them a nice tight hug and can help to calm them down during times of stress. So there are several different options to help to reduce thunderstorm anxiety. Speak to your family veterinarian about which one may be most appropriate for you and your pet.
What are some signs of storm anxiety in pets, and do they differ from cats and dogs?
So thunderstorm anxiety can look lots of different ways in both dogs and cats. Some dogs may get extremely nervous and scared and want to hide. So hiding under beds, hiding in the closet, hiding in the crate, or underneath a cat bed. Those can be signs of thunderstorm anxiety. Excessive panting and pacing around the home can also be a sign. So if you notice that the rain is coming and your pet begins to pace about the house, this could be a sign that they have anxiety related to thunderstorms. Not wanting to eat or wanting to be extremely close to you, hiding behind you in your lap, those can also be signs of thunderstorm anxiety. So if you're noticing those things, again, there are ways that we can help to keep your pet calm. Speak to your family veterinarian about which one might be best for you.
What precautions should be taken when traveling with pets in the spring?
If you're traveling with pets in the spring, this applies year round, but you just want to be safe with your pet in the car. And that means finding a way to keep them comfortable, but also restrained in the car. As the car goes fast, or you're switching lanes, or you're making turns, pets that are not restrained can suffer from being off balance. They can injure themselves, falling out of the seat. And so having a way to restrain them with a seat belt that can be attached to a harness, or you can buy nice beds that can be strapped in with a seat belt as well, so your pet has a comfortable place to lie while still being restrained in the back seat is appropriate. And then many pets like to put their head out the window while the car is moving very fast. It's a good idea to not let your pets put their head out the window because there's risk of flying debris, there's risk of irritation, dust, dirt getting in the eyes, and you certainly don't want any accidents where your pet jumps out of the window. So keeping them restrained is going to be really important as you travel with your pets this spring.
Moving into spring cleaning and home safety, what steps can be taken to deodorize a home without harming pets?
Yes, spring cleaning also means a clean home with fresh smells. And this can be done relatively easy. You can certainly use air fresheners that you can spray in your home. If you're spraying these in your home, you may want to spray the areas where your pet is not in currently and let it sort of disperse throughout the room, and not spray it directly in the area where your pet is so that they don't inhale the microscopic particles from the spray. You can use things like plug-ins that help to create a nice aroma throughout the home over a period of time. You want to steer clear from some of the things like potpourri, the liquid potpourris, especially if you have cats. Cats will want to lick the liquid potpourri or chew on the potpourri, and that can actually cause irritation to the mouth and be toxic to cats. So I would say stick to something that you can plug in that's gonna create an aroma through your home throughout a period of time. You can use sprays, but I would do it in small amounts and in areas where your pets do not reside or that they are not in currently. And just making sure that you wash all of the dog bedding and the laundry that may be creating some of those foul odors. That's a great way to just keep your house clean and smelling nice as well.
What common spring cleaning products are dangerous for pets?
I would say if you have any cleaning products, most of them can be toxic. Things like bleach and other common household products you don't want your pet to ingest or even walk through. So just make sure that if you're doing a lot of deep cleaning, that you're keeping your pets crated. You can board them, you can send them to a family member or friend's house if you're going to be using a lot of cleaning chemicals. You don't want to risk that your pet ingests anything by accident, so it's rather to just be safe during these times.
Is it safe to use bleach or disinfectants in areas where pets walk or play?
So bleach and other disinfectants can actually be irritating to the skin, so you want to make sure that your pets are not walking through areas where you've freshly mopped or cleaned with some of those really corrosive type materials.
Moving into outdoor hazards and nature safety, what are the risks of insect stings for pets, and how should pet parents respond?
Well, certainly during the spring, we see more bees, we may see more snakes and spiders coming out. And these types of insects and snakes can cause bites to our pets. So one of the things that you want to be aware of is paying attention to your pet and noticing if they appear to be painful in any area, licking at a paw, licking at an area of the body, noticing that you may see redness or swelling in a particular area of the body, usually the paws or the extremities. They could have gotten stung by an insect. In a lot of cases, it's just going to cause local irritation and discomfort. But in other cases where the insect or the snake is poisonous, there's going to be extensive swelling and pain, and in worst case scenarios, sloughing of the skin. If you're noticing that your pet is showing attention to a particular area of their body, and that area is red, inflamed, or you notice that there may be evidence that there was a bite there, contact your family veterinarian because it could require emergency medication. In worst case scenarios, animals can have anaphylactic reactions. They can break out in hives. They can have swelling throughout their face and body. And they can, in the worst case scenarios, have cardiovascular collapse related to a severe anaphylactic reaction to one of these insects.
What diseases do ticks and mosquitoes carry, and how can they be prevented?
So mosquitoes and ticks can carry several different types of diseases. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your pets on flea, tick, and heartworm prevention year round, because the way that your pets get heartworm disease is through a mosquito bite. And we have mosquitoes almost year round here in the South in Texas, and you want to prevent heartworm disease because it can lead to heart failure. So mosquitoes carry heartworm disease. It can lead to heart failure, but it's really easily preventable. Ticks can carry diseases such as Rocky Mountain spotted fever. They can carry Lyme disease and others. And so making sure your pets are on flea and tick prevention is also very important, as fleas can also carry tapeworms and can cause hair loss and other discomfort for your pets. So talk to your family veterinarian about heartworm, flea, and tick prevention. It's going to be very important in the spring and throughout the summer. Well, we thank you so much for joining us today on the Pet Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Roberta Westbrook. Come on down and visit us and look for your new family pet in our adoption center, and we will see you next week.